This is why Terminator is gonna happen, because you humans is too much emotional stuff. Okay, so another thing I wanted to discuss, which I think is important, going to people's businesses or dealing businesses with people or a singular business, and these people are disrespectful or they're too personal. So lately, you know, Ari Fletcher, she used to be with G Herbo, now she's with Moneybag. She's the face of Charmbox Co. It's a nice jewelry company. They sell tennis bracelets and all sorts of things. She also does what you call it, ambassador videos for this brand called I think it's called it's called Moonshine Cosmetics, something like that. So I think it's just called Moon Cosmetics. So Ari had said that she went to the dermatologist and they said that she was using too much oil on her face and she was breaking out. She put this on Twitter. So the girl of Moon Cosmetics came out of her face and said something and said, I'm going to sue you. And, you know, was talking sideways, and then Ari started cursing at her and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I wasn't even talking about you and blah, blah. You know, the girl had pretty much embarrassed herself. But, you know, things like that. I've been to a business where, you know, I went to get my eyebrows done, and this woman, you know, they were older women, but they were just very like funny, nice to me. Like when it was my turn to come sit in the chair, instead of calling me over like I would a person, she's tapping the chair like I'm a dog. You know, things like that. Like when I went to the place to have my wig put on, you know, the lady was like, oh, she's like, oh, I know you don't like to be late, you know, like waiting. She was just talking to me crazy. And I don't like business like that. People,
she said she knows you don't like to wait.
Yeah, because what happened, see, I was being nice. And what happened was I was in a salon and she had 3 people ahead of me, and it was 9 o'clock at night. I was supposed to have my hair done 2 in the afternoon, but there was somebody, I didn't understand. So I'm sitting in the salon. I'm like, I'm not waiting for you to do 3 people's heads. Are you crazy? So I said, you know what? And I know you're going to be tired at the end of the night. I said, I'll come tomorrow. You know, and in her head, it was like, oh, she don't know how to wait. I'm like, these people with these short temperaments, it's
no, it's because she had you lined up as her 4th head, and you was talking about you gonna come back tomorrow or you're not gonna come back.
Yeah, and I did, because she had my wig. She was styling my wig. You know what I mean? So in my head, I was being polite, and I'm like, you know, I know you get tired, because at me, I know I want to go hell home. So I said, I'll just come tomorrow. Live right around the corner. You know, so I looked at the wig when they first did it. She was like, what happened? You don't like it? Well, I didn't say that. I'm just looking at it. You know, people very short, and they're the ones offering the business.
Well, you know what? It's like people probably look at you and think they know what to expect from you. Like they probably think they're gonna get some hype shit from you, like, or they're gonna get a bad attitude or something. So they're like trying to preemptively like match that, without even knowing how you're coming off, like what you're really trying to say.
From my perspective, some men, they get mad because you're not flirting back with them or whatever, or some people are just rude and grumpy. But sometimes some women, they just get jealous of another woman, so they're automatically rude. Like I wish she was with me at that salon when the woman was hitting a chair and she was like, come on. I'm like, why does this always happen to me? Because it happens to me a lot. Like, I went to get my lips done and a lady was kind of rushing me. She's like, all right, come on, let's go. I'm like, first of all, the numbing cream you put on my lip didn't work. I'm letting you prick me up while I'm in pain. You know.
You had your lips done?
Huh?
You had your lips done?
Yeah, up around the edges. I put some saline. It's you can barely notice it, because my upper lip was just like flat. And then for being bad all the time. It was cheap. Okay. But yeah, the lady was she was kind of rude. I had fun. They seemed nice at first, but then, I mean, they were nice, but it was just the one lady that she was getting rushy. I guess because she wanted to go and it was taking too long and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but I'm paying.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what it is. It's like, maybe I'm drawing it to myself. I'm thinking about it because I don't think of these things happening. I don't pray on it happening.
I think you're sensitive because I've been out with you a couple of times when I've seen what you see, but it's like I feel like you're more sensitive to it.
I am more sensitive to it because sometimes I just grew up with that, like with the weird energy, and I try to ignore it, but it's like I'm being more professional than you, and it's your business. I'm being more kind than you. Some people
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Like sometimes you just gotta let people sit in whatever they're going through and not take it on board and not take it personally because they're trying to get you pulled in. Like they probably sense that you'll give them some energy back if they give you some energy.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would if you're doing my lips and put the numbing cream on and I don't feel it. And you're like poking me up and you're rushing me. You're like, all right, come on, hurry up. I'm like, who are you talking to? I couldn't, you know what? When I noticed
that's how they deal with people with the surgery, with all kinds of cosmetic things. The girl, she said that they treated her cousin, her sister really, really badly until they found out who she was. B. Simone. Mm-hmm. They treated her sister real bad and like wanted to put her out with where she was like not even fully sedated, fully like pain medicated.
Yeah, that happens, and it happens to a lot of Black women. It happens to a lot of Black women, and people don't want to talk about it.
That's how they die like that. That's why the death rate is so high. Really, I don't even think the surgery is even that dangerous, but the fact that they don't take good care of them after, that's what happens.
They these people most of the time that are doing the surgery on you, they're not the same race as you.
No.
So, I had the same experience when I gave birth to my son. The guy that was putting a mask on me to, put me to sleep before they did the first C-section was cursing me out. He told me shut the fuck up and slammed the mask on my face like it hurt. But I was already knocking out, so it was nothing I could do. So
wow.
It happens. It happens. And sometimes I want to go to business.
I hear so many horror stories about American hospitals. You have to be so careful about where you go, and you better have some family or somebody who cares about you around because
people are abusive. A lot of people are abusive. A lot of people, especially,
and people are in the health industry for the wrong reasons a lot of the time because they're paying like a lot of money for people that if they don't care about people, that's a job to sit around and do nothing. And if you interrupt their nothing doing, now there's hell to pay.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I asked one guy that was in the hospital. I think he was a nurse. I asked him about, them taking my baby back and forth. You keep giving him all these shots. I'm like, I heard, it can make him sick. I didn't know not to say anything.
Yeah.
He really told me to shut up and walked out the room. Said, oh, shut up, and then walked out the room. We need our own hospitals with our own people.
We had all of our own hospitals. What the fuck was integration about? It was about like freaking bowing down.
I think at the end of the day,
there's no type of inclusion. They were treated like second-class citizens in a lot of these institutions, and there's no alternatives. Or the alternatives are not properly adopted.
These niggas wanted to get around those white girls too.
That's because people are integrating in the wrong society. They keep putting themselves in.
They keep putting their eggs in the basket that looks the nicest, but it's like really not even set up for longevity. It's only set up to look fucking flashy for 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
What doesn't make sense to me is why do you want to go sit next to people that keep telling you they can't stand you?
Yeah, because you want to live in the quote unquote fly organized shit, like the organized infrastructure that you can navigate without having to worry or concern yourself about what, you know what I mean? Because it's already being organized, already done.
Well,
Whereas our systems are always piece part. It's like you are a baker, you know, and then you're a baker too. And then everybody's doing the same thing because they want to get the money. But instead of having an infrastructure where you're a baker, you're a knife maker, you're a butter maker, and we got meals, you know what I'm saying? We got meals coming.
Everybody's doing the same thing. That, and I think the bombing of, you know, Black Wall Street and Tulsa, I think that really had an effect too.
It's traumatized. It's a traumatic effect, because I'm sure there were more than just one Black Wall Street. I'm sure there was like many different manifestations of like industriousness and you know what I mean? But it's like just psychologically knowing that they physically bombed an area probably shut some people up and shut
women down. Just working.
People decide to get jobs because it's easier and it's safer and it's not so, you know what I mean? They just force people to feel like to make the choice to abandon shit.
Just jump.
Well, when you operate in a public capacity, this is gonna happen to you. You gotta find out who you are. First of all, know that this land is yours. You see it first. And second of all, know that the government was created for your sakes.
Yeah, we created that.
So the point that I'm saying is like, it's nothing wrong with integration. It's not that integration is inherently bad. The problem is that people are going about it the wrong way. They are integrating with no understanding on who they truly are. So now they bring themselves under people's jurisdiction and they're their slaves. I mean, you went out there and got a birth certificate with your names all caps, and you don't know what's going on. You go to court, you act like this is real, all of this stuff is fake. So you don't take the time out to really educate yourself. And what people try to tell you, say,
yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. You slide right into infrastructure that works. It's not even about it being good or bad. It functions. You understand? It's all about functionality and whether you can actually properly navigate it. Like if there was an alternative that functioned and that could bring you from get you from being a baby to being an educated grown up.
Yeah. There is another way that functions. You just got
functions and interlocks and just takes you from A to B, first grade, second grade, third grade. You just go right through, and then when you get out, you go to college. And what system exists like that for melanated people?
All right, I'm gonna ask you a question. You have public school and you have private school, right?
Yeah.
You have public hospitals and you have private hospitals, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have public churches and you have private churches, right?
I didn't know that.
Well,
I thought they were public entities. That's why they don't pay no taxes.
Yeah.
Well, private entities don't pay taxes. Public entities do.
Like church.
So, like church. So what I'm saying to you basically is this. You have to understand what the difference between public and private. Once you understand this difference, there's your key. There's your kingdom. Because when you operating under a public trust, which is a contract and or bank, this is every fragment of your life. So because people are in the public, this is why I can shoot you down with no recourse. Because
the reason why they can shoot them down is because of their status within that regime.
That's the point.
Status, you're black in the color of law.
That's the point that I'm saying though. But that still goes back to what I'm saying. People. That's what I was talking about. The status. That's what
That's what you mean. Yeah.
But you must correct your status. Yeah. So you can't get tight if I shoot you down. I own you. You are my slave. Your body is my property.
But how many people's birth certificates even say black? Because I've inspected mine. Mine doesn't say black. Mine doesn't even say my race at all. Doesn't say African American either. It doesn't say my race at all.
Oh, well, then you doing better than most.
UK, right?
You're doing better than most.
No, I was born in America.
Nah, you're doing better than most then. Then your parents must have moved up.
I think it may say only my ID says my eye color and my hair color, but I don't have any documents that indicate like African American or black.
Your parents knew what's up.
Well, not necessarily, because you don't fill that out, do you? You don't say, "Oh, I'm black." Don't they just say what they think you are?
No, you do. You fill out that. and then also, because your parents has to sign off on it. You dig what I'm saying? So
yeah, but I signed off on my daughter's birth certificate. Didn't ask me, and it didn't have it.
Okay, well, it depends. You feel what I'm saying? But most people's, even if their birth certificate don't say black, that's not the point. The point is that on every other application, you agree to be black. When you go on the court, you say I'm black. When the police officer stop you,
some people do,
your race, you say I'm black. Most.
Like blacklisted from
people
society.
say I'm black. They say this, bro. I'm black. I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud. Look, you crucifying yourself because you keep saying you black and you proud. You black on that.
See, that's why I blame. Listen, I've always blamed that guy James Brown because he friggin' branded that shit. He branded that shit.
Like, you don't even know what you're saying. I'm black and I'm proud. This is foolishness. First of all, we're not even black, bro. Are you?
No.
Gotta be.
We're various shades of brown. Have you ever watched Dane Calloway? You watched Dane Calloway?
Yeah, I seen them. But
how are we calling ourselves black when we're various shades of brown? Can't we see?
But I've been saying it since I was a kid because people used to always say, "Oh, Kenneth, you mad black." But I'm looking at them and I'm like, "Yo, I'm literally like 2 shades darker than you, but my skin is brown." But they still was like, "Yo, you mad black." This how
because they work in extremes. They work in extremes. They can't even have their concept of color.
Like, yo,
and not only that, it's like people are even just regurgitating what they've heard being said. They're not even like actually even thinking for themselves.
Yeah.
So as far as they're concerned, anything that's got dark hue is black because that's what they've been taught.
Right.
That's how they perceive things.
Exactly.
And not only that, they know that it's something that's upsetting or irritating or something that they can be able to bully you with. It don't matter if you're actually black or not. It just depends on whether they can get you to produce a reaction.
You mad black. That's what it is.
Yeah. Did they call you African booty scratcher? Were you too young for that?
Yeah. African booty scratcher, African, all types of them. But I never took offense. I never took offense to African.
Yeah, that's not something that you should be offended by.
I'm proud to be African because I already know I look like the niggas on the walls in Africa. So I'm like, I'm proud to be African. Thank you. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's a compliment. But the thing that I'm saying is that people keep putting themselves in a public capacity and then being tight when these niggas deal with them treacherously. But you agree. You said that you was a United States citizen. Why you mad at me? But that's the thing is like if you was a United States citizen. They didn't infer you was a United States citizen. They ask it. They say fill out. They give you the choice. Fill out United States citizen if you were a United States citizen.
Yeah. But you know what? If you don't have any other options, then you might be stuck. You know what I'm saying?
You do because they give you the option of other, and nobody fucking goes and question this.
No, when it comes to certain applications, you either a United States citizen or you're not a United States citizen. Saying you're not a United States citizen removes you from possibility of being able to be accepted by certain applications.
Right, but most people gotta understand that. If it says United States citizen or you're not a United States citizen, have you even asked yourself this question? This is my point. This is my point. You came.
Yeah, but the thing is that you might perceive yourself as a United States citizen because you were born there.
This is still your fault. This is still your fault because why you just agreeing with this is literally how I see things in life. Why you just agreeing with what niggas are saying? Because
it's not even just what niggas are saying, is what you quote unquote have evidence of. You feel like you have evidence of that because it's all that you've been told. You think that you're in a house called United States of America.
This is how
I was born, and you were born in this house, and so therefore you are a citizen.
I never agreed to that.
If your parents are telling you that, if all the history books is telling you that, if everything that you know is telling you that, how are you gonna have the frame of reference to be like, hey, maybe I'm not?
Because I never agreed. I never felt like that. I'm being honest. But I feel you, but I'm still saying it's a possibility because I'm not the only one that felt like that. There's hundreds of niggas that felt like that, and that's why they was on the path that they on. I'm saying something in you should be like, I don't agree. Like when niggas was like, I'm black, I don't agree. When niggas was like, you a U.S. citizen, I don't agree. When niggas was like, yo, you should go to church, this, that, and the third, I don't agree. Because my thing was always, I want to find the answer for myself. From a young age, I was always mad at niggas trying to tell me what to think. Yeah. This is why I'm the way I am now. Because niggas is not going to tell me what to think. Because you have to think for your fucking self. Because when people didn't tell you what to think, this is how you fall for anything. Like taking a fucking vaccine, y'all, because niggas told you to take a vaccine. I gave my mom.
Well, because it was convenient.
This when I knew I was going to be hell in life. When my mom told me, because my school told her, I had to get a vaccine, the flu shit before I come to school. I sat there and fought on that shit. Of course, I folded because I really couldn't, because my mom was like, you fucking up this school. So I folded at the time, but I still held on that fact that, what the fuck? This shit is some bullshit. This don't even feel like this shit hurts. Why this nigga putting this shit in my arm? You get what I'm saying? All type of shit. But I already knew I was going to be a problem in life because I never fucking agreed to fucking fuckery. When I was in school and my teacher was talking about, y'all niggas was in slavery, objection. When niggas was like, white niggas was in Egypt, objection. I didn't know it was objection. When niggas was like, you come from monkeys, objection, bro. I was never with it because you're not gonna sit here and just tell me that it's true and I don't feel like it's true. So this is why I don't go outside with mask on. A lot of people go outside with mask on, but the reason why I don't do this shit is because
it's an agreement. You're complying. You're deciding. You're saying, I'm down. I'm down.
I feel like I'm compromising myself. And I also have to lead by example because maybe I might give somebody strength if they see I'm always on my shit. Even though, because I'm willing to sacrifice, because most niggas will be like, I just want to go in the store and get the food. But I'm willing to sacrifice that shit because it's not about the food. It's not about none of it. Because what happens when they really come to a degree when they start saying, nigga, you got to jab yourself. And so you can't come in no stores. And so watch, we gotta eat. I get it. We don't want to argue with niggas, but we gotta stand, because one thing I really
gotta stand firm, and you gotta make it difficult. You gotta make some room for yourself. You gotta make room for others.
I would have been Harriet Tubman, bro. I would have been the nigga that got hit with the paperweight, bro. Because I would have not been with it, bro. I would not been with it. When the white nigga was like, you gotta pick the cotton. Nigga, I'm not picking cotton, bro. I would not. Whip every night, bro.
It never happened. It didn't happen so freaking specifically like that. They came to your farmers like, hey, would you like us to take over some of the management of your organization? And then you give us a share of what you got, and then we will be sharing these crops and blah blah blah. You're like, hey, if you want to help on the farm, we can help you out. We can give you this and that, and then we just give them something, and then they just, would you like us to take over this? We'll take over this, and you can just share a little more with us, and then we share a little more with us. Like, we're having a hard time trying to grow these things. Maybe you can get out in the field and help us out. Maybe we could share some of the crops. And then we'll show you how to organize it, how we do it. Look how beautifully organized it is, and look how we're cooperative. And blah, blah, blah. We've perfected your system. In fact, why don't you come and see how we've done it? And you guys can get out in the field and you can do what you do best, and we do what we do best, and we can share the crops. And you could be out there, and then you could just send some of your fine lady friends in here, and then we'll just, we'll marry them, and everything will be fine. We'll be family. All of us will be family, We'll share. You can give us your name, and then we'll pretend like it was our name originally. Like no one will ever know. We will be family. We will be sealed. No one will know. No one will know who was originally the Joneses, because we'll be so like family. It'll be almost like we had the name first, and you became our slaves. And how funny would that be if in 100 years that's what people think? That it was our name, and then you took our name, and then it was our farms, and somehow we were sharing crops, but no one really wants to talk about that because slavery,
Nah, but you know something? Slavery was contracts.
That was anti-theater.
That slavery was contracts. Think of slavery like this. It wasn't niggas coming with guns and whipping. No. What happened was the contracts.
It was so gradual.
But we contracted with them, though. This is what we have to understand.
Yeah, because they're giving us some sort of benefit was occurring. If it wasn't originally just to help them or just to prevent them from coming and taking. we're giving them something, and then they can go build themselves, and they don't have to keep. You're being trying to make the peace, create the peace. You know what I mean? And they just overstep. They just overstep and bastardize.
But that happened after, though. Remember, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because we had them in slavery first. This is what we keep forgetting. We had them in slavery first. So what happened was, once they got smarter, we can't keep having these niggas over us. We gotta get our ways out of the slave. Because when you really read the history books, you see white niggas in the field. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, this whole story about us being in the field, no, nigga. We had them first. Then somehow because
it's not somehow. They bought their free. They were indentured slaves for only a certain period of time. We weren't doing it like how they was doing it forever. You understand? They were there for a certain period of time to build up themselves, create their homesteads, and then they were off to do their own thing, and they could make their own plantations if they wanted to, and they could have their own slaves. You know what I mean? They can have their own servants, their own indigenous servants.
Slaves,
and we didn't feel no way having our sons and daughters go over there because, you know, we was all family, quote unquote. Right. But they never let them. Never let them niggas go. And they came and slaughtered the mom and dad so that those kids were by themselves. They had no one to come.
Missing a piece, though. You gotta remember. Yeah, we, you know, Aboriginals, natives, but you know, we also Moors as well. So we was also traveling around the world and been miscegenating with their women. This is why a lot of light-skinned people, it's us, really. You feel me? Because we was making babies with them. The men.
Yeah, but that's not where light skin came from. We produced the light skin organically. The thing is that
I'm not saying that's just where light skin come from. I'm saying a lot of men that was melanated was going to these places. Like, for instance, in Spain, the Moors went down there and had sex damn near with a whole lot of women at one point. Literally, like this is.
But all of those people were already melanated. The thing is that
that's true too. But
what originally happened where those people came from, those vast populations of white-skinned people with the straight hair and the hairy bodies came from chimera freaking experiments. Majority of them.
Hey, I will only my only argument against that is if you just look at Indian albinos, right? If you just look at, and you know, we know albinism is something that happens genetically, not a lab. This happens genetically. So when you look at like Indian albinos, the albino niggas look like Indians, and if you look at white people, they technically look like Indians. So albinism has been even in the ancient
but albinism is a mutation that's occurring because of the experiments that occurred. So those people, those Indian people that you're talking about, those are people that are actual hybrids also. All of them are hybrids. That's why they have those different levels of albinism. Straight hair is a type of albinism. Light eyes is a type of albinism. It's all different varying degrees of albinisms, but if you get the same genome in two parents, you're gonna create that double albinism
That's a theory, but I feel like nature. That's a theory, but I feel like nature creates varieties. Because if we just look at the animals, there's millions of different varieties of animals. I feel like nature creates varieties. Like if you look at a dog, right? There's tons of different multicolored dogs. That doesn't stop the dog from being a dog.
But those dogs, that's what I'm trying to say. All of those animals, all of the varieties of vegetables and fruits and things that we have, they came from small selection. And all we did was genetically modify them. We took piece from this and added to that, made hybrids of them. And it's the same thing with humanity. And
I'm saying it could be that, or niggas really just was always.
No, there is organic developments that occurred that allowed us to even see that it was possible to do these splicing.
All right, so this is my thing. Where's the proof? This is my thing. I heard that theory 1,000 times, right? But no tangible proof. No, I'm just being honest.
There is proof. They'll tell you themselves. They tell you themselves. They try to pass it off as human history, as if all human beings evolved from these animals. But that is not the facts. They just telling their history.
No, I'm saying there's no facts, because I heard because that story really originates from Yaku. That's really a Yaiku story about niggas creating niggas in the lab. But I'm saying there's absolutely zero proof of this. Zero. Like zero.
It's in the genome. It's in the genome. Look, there is history. There is proof. You know where the proof is? In the blood types. Rhesus exists majority in the hybrid genome. All of the hybrid.
But this is something that niggas name though, is my point. Because look, everybody, like you have people who share certain forms of Neanderthal, right? And then you have some who share certain forms of Denisovans. Some people got Denisovan DNA. Like more Aborigine people would have come from the Denisovans, as they say.
What is Denisovans?
So Denisovan is like before. Okay, so you had the Neanderthals, but they saying the Denisovan came after the Neanderthal, which submerged and then the human. So
two different races of people.
Which I agree. But what I'm saying is that nature creates variety, man. And blood types might be different, but that's still objective to me because
no, it's not about not about different. They'll tell you that is a rhesus. That's a part of rhesus monkey and positive, negative in the DNA. It's right there. There's no running away from that.
The people who's right coming up with this type of
but it's not about a theory. It's in science. If you look it up, it's right there. Some people cannot even breed with each other because the baby will automatically abort. Because
I'm saying, but science is not science. But science is not the ultimate. Science is not the ultimate authority of life. It's not like science.
No, but it's explained. You're telling me there's no explanation or there's no link.
I'm not saying that science doesn't explain, but I'm saying we always act like science is the ultimate authority. No, nigga, science is always.
It sure ain't. But it sure ain't. But it sure is a way to actually prove fucking certain theories all the way out. I mean, if we know that certain people cannot breed together because of this difference in the blood types and difference in the DNA sequences, and it doesn't go together, it will not go together because one would reject the other.
But that's one thing about saying people can't breed together when you have tons of people who do. There's
tons that can. There's tons. I'm not saying that they cannot. I'm saying that the fact is that it does exist in the bloodlines. That there is you can look it up. There's a problem where you have to actually get injected in order for you to continue to carry your baby. Okay. If you have a certain blood type.
I see what you said. I'm just saying that I feel like people have to. Okay, I'm gonna look that up though. I'm not gonna be a but I'm saying because I've heard that before. But my thing is, then we would have to see defects because next will be defects.
There are defects. People are born with tails. A lot of them are born with tails.
I never seen one nigga born with a tail be like.
Okay, look it up. It happens a lot. And even if you watch that movie, thingy, he shows his tail. He shows like it wasn't a documentary, but they actually. Do you know how they joke about shit that's real? Yeah. The nigga was born with the tail. It was called Ugly Hal or Shallow Hal.
Yeah, he had a tail.
The nigga had a tail.
I mean,
listen. And then they're born with extra digits. I seen a little baby, mixed race baby born with an extra digit, on each hand.
That's true. But we got to also look at the birth defects from our chromosome because I look at it from
those are chromosomal defects. And you see that tail? That tail is from the monkey DNA.
I mean, hey man, we'll never know, man. I just think
you can Google it right now. See some babies with some tails.
No, I see it. I'm not saying I haven't seen it. I'm not saying I haven't seen it, but again, I do know how people have their still agendas because they try to. I think it's the same thing, right? They
get them removed that birth. They put the little string around it.
Watch though. They tried to say we came from monkeys first, right? I'm gonna show you the irony, right? Because this is where polarities come in. They try to say we came from monkeys first. They try to say we came from monkeys. We was inhumane. Yeah. So now we got tight about that and wanted to probably find information to prove that they monkey. So it's the same.
Don't. I hate when you do like when you act like you you can only see the surface of stuff.
I'm not seeing the surface.
It's clear as day. It's in their own. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not even our studies and things that came out afterwards. It's all in their own information that they put out. The information that they put in front of us for us to learn is that they believe that they came from monkeys. One.
But that don't mean it's facts. Two, these niggas just trying to They just
I'm trying to go through, I'm going down the line. Number one, they believe they came from monkeys, right? Number two, the proof of that is in the DNA sequences. They have designations for whether you are rhesus positive or rhesus negative, whether that shit is still in your DNA line or it's been wiped out by some other ancestor.
It's come up with shit every day.
Bro. No, it's people listen. It's true because people are affected by that. They can't get certain blood types as a transfusion. You cannot have certain babies with a person that has a certain blood type. If I'm a rhesus negative and I try to have a baby with someone that's rhesus positive, it's going to be a problem. And only modern science can save that baby and save my life, because it will kill me or the baby or both of us.
But my point that I'm saying is that science can prove certain things, but again, science is full of lies and bullshit. Like,
it's full of lies and bullshit. But if you got those kinds of results happening, like, it's provable.
But that proves another element. That proves the spiritual side. Because if it is true that we do have defective genes from falling into sin, right? People say sin, but I look at sin as an imperfection or something that was disharmoniously done in a cosmic way. If this is true, which I do believe, because science also found that we have something that's called the sin gene, right? So we're gonna use science. So if we was to go with that logic,
how much you want to bet?
Because there was things on the earth my bad, Cleo. There was things on the earth that were not humans on this planet that niggas did mate with from the higher beings, though. But I think it's a lot.
That's what I'm trying to say. You see how you skipped over? Like, can you understand that right there, the sin gene? What's the sin gene? What is the sin gene? Well, the shit that ain't supposed to be in our blood line, right? Shit that ain't supposed to be there, right? Shit that ain't supposed to be there, and then somebody mated with one of them. Huh? Who was that? Some test subject in a lab somewhere. Nigga got horny and fucked one of the test subjects in the test lab. Come on now. This shit that's where it makes sense. Let's not skip over logic because of like wherever we have our hearts tied to. Like, I do understand your situation.
Nigga trying to make it about a hard thing. No, it's not.
No, I'm saying it is what it is. Like, you're gonna have a certain kind of concept.
I'm just saying, I don't hate nobody. I love everybody.
You can't let that prevent your intellect from going to where it needs to go in order for shit to make sense. Don't be acting like, oh, this shit is just happening for no reason. Like, you talk about the hood and shit. Like, niggas, they put in that shit in place because they need this country. They don't need us to realize what's up. So there's a lot of psychological fucked upness going on. People are being put on ADHD medicine from 5 years old. Shit is fucked.
But that don't mean niggas should still do, but I still
No, it doesn't mean no one should do anything. But you know what? There's all kinds of shit happening in the white community too. All kinds of fucked shit.
That wasn't my point why I brought that up though. I know white niggas is doing what they doing. My point was that I was saying that I'm not really so much always worried about what a white man is doing, because I have to worry about the fact that, nigga, when I go home,
because that's the environment that you're in. If you were in a white neighborhood, I guarantee you would be experiencing a lot more problems with them. If you were actually living amongst them 24/7 for the last 15 years, how many experiences do you think you would have had with them? And you think that it would have been pleasant compared to what you experienced with Black people?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Wait, let me interject real quick, because y'all was talking about this earlier. So when you go into the hood, them niggas is traumatized, miserable. Their backs have been put against the wall.
Yeah, and understimulated.
Wait. They have the opportunity.
It's not an excuse. There's no excuse for no kind of atrocities. There's no excuse, but there's always a reason, and you can't overstep the reason just because you think that they should be more capable of overriding those things, even if they've been programmed since birth. Come on now.
Hold on, but this is what I'm getting to. This is what I'm saying. These niggas have been put in that position. The same thing as the crack era. However, niggas can still get out of it. Niggas have.
Yes, you can. You can. Mental toughness.
It's not impossible, but that's the situation that was cultivated for them niggas. Now, when you go white man's land, that was a mess he already made. The mess in your hood, he helped make that shit. But y'all bask in it because you got comfortable, and he took away your fucking dignity. So the difference between
and then the loss of dignity will also send people into a sense of who, like a fuck it type of situation, like who was there for me, who was protecting me. Why do I need to be an upstanding citizen when I was like abused or I had to deal with this or that?
And then you have the white man, he masks, not all of them, but masks himself as, you know, the stand-up citizen, the blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, that them race of people specifically, and they really do, they dream of murder. They like to murder for fun. It's in their blood. You can see when they smile at you. You really could. Look at their movies. Look at their fucking movies. We got dumbasses too.
I think that's the reputation that's been built for them. We get to be physically strong and so visibly strong and visibly more attractive and visibly more younger and stuff, but they get to be thought of as these bloodthirsty creatures that will definitely destroy you and your whole family if you ever try to be something more than what they say that you can be and what you should be and what you
be. And when they see you trying to rise, they play with you psychologically. That's
how they do it, because they can't go toe to toe, fist to fist with you.
Right. When they came out with Black Panther and everything was Black Lives Matter and stuff, like I said, I told you 2 years ago, I said I smell a rat. Something don't sound right. Because all of a sudden,
because Black Lives Matter don't even sound right.
But listen,
Black Lives Matter.
For years, you had your foot on our neck. For centuries, all of a sudden, you're slowly taking the foot off. What's the reason? It's the same.
Where are they taking the foot off? The shit has been going on our necks for the last 40 years. In the 1960s, 1970s, you had way more power, way more influence, way more infrastructure in place. It's slowly been because they've been since then. That's the exact same time when they were like, I'm Black and I'm proud, and actually dethroned the people from their land and made them detach from their land and start focusing on Africa, where they're not even from, and start like you might even have land in your name. And because you don't even think you're from America, you'll give it all up and go buy some land in Zimbabwe where you're not even from.
And they laugh.
And you have no idea because you've been told that you're from there and you're not.
And the Africans
your face looks. I know this woman that's in Ghana right now. Her face is a Gullah Geechee face. She has the same face like that lady that looks like the guy from fucking what's it called? And she's like, she would never even know, even her family, if her family is from South Carolina, because she thinks of herself as an African, she's going to go to Ghana before she even investigates the tribe of Gullah Geechee that's been there.
But you gotta remember though, it still goes back to Africa though, because even though niggas was in America, we still got niggas in Africa that been there for years who we look like, which is true. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah, but we traveled like you said. We got seeded. The whole of Liberia is seeded by Americans.
That's true. I'm not saying it's not, but it is people who came from Egypt and then came over here and built the stuff that
America was Egypt.
Yes, it was Egypt. It was another Egypt. It was another Egypt. Yes, but I'm saying we cannot deny the fact that there is people who did come from that land who came over because when you yes, but what I'm just saying though, when you in a hotter climate, bro, and when you look at Africa, niggas got the fucking skin. Like we can't act like.
What about Brazil? Have you seen Brazil?
Yeah, and Brazil is also
Guyana.
These are hot places. That's my point. Yeah. I'm not saying these are hot places, but America is not hot all around. So what I'm saying is that we did come from.
It's not hot all around in Africa either.
No, it's
cold as fucking South Carolina in South Africa too. It's cold.
Yes, but I'm just saying though.
Which is why
there is right, but I'm just saying though there is people though. You get what I'm saying that. When you closer to the equator, it's true, you do get darker. Or like when the sun is out, like I got a tan, I'm way darker than what I've normally been. So if you're in a hot Africa sun, you're gonna be really melanin. Yeah. And then when I see people in Africa now, a lot of us do look like that. So we can't cap.
Yeah, we do look like, but that's the trick. That is the trick.
No, not even.
Listen, if they can get a fucking Aboriginal Australian and bring them to Hawaii, can they tell the difference between each other? If
No.
they really like, no.
But there really isn't no difference because them niggas.
That's what I'm trying to say. But they're not all from Australia just because they look like the Australians, kid. The Mexicans are not Australia just because they look like them.
No, I'm not saying that they Australian. I'm saying the blood type.
I know that. I know you're not saying that they're Australians. You're saying that all black people that because we look like this, and you see how deep and dark your complexion is. Niggas in Brazil look just like you, and they've been there. That's why none of these people can go in the favelas and try and invade because those are old kingdoms.
But what I'm saying is, there's niggas that bought that. Nah, but I got proof though to prove about Africa though. Niggas bought African traditions into these type of places. Like for instance, the music in Latin America, even the music from America, this shit is African roots. This is facts.
Why do you believe that it's African roots?
Because niggas got actual proof, nigga, of nigga, these drums and these dances actually being from Mandinka tribe, right? From the tribes in Kenya, from the tribes.
There's the proof that they didn't all have drums and that it all was a culture, maybe even a culture, because the Mayan culture predates all of those prehistoric times. No, all of those cultures have been there. All of those pyramids has always been in South America and North America. Some of the pyramids outdate the pyramids that are in Africa. Whoa. Some of those Olmec heads outdate some of the monuments that we have in Africa. All of those things are deeper down in the ground.
I'm saying that people migrate, and if you be in America for hundreds of years, you will be an American. But that doesn't stop the fact that you did migrate from Africa. Like for instance,
why do you believe that? Because they've decided that there's an out of Africa theory that everyone came from Africa, even though the tides go in a totally different way, which you could not be able to sail.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: when you go to Africa, there's 83 different genetic variations of every group of people on the face of this fucking planet. So what I'm saying is there's no other group of people who have 83 different variations.
How do we know that? Have they done the?
Because science, yes, they did. Because we talking science now, right? Because they did the science. No other group of people, Africa is the most diverse, 83 different variants. No other group of people have 83 different variants. They don't. They don't. There's people in Africa who look so-called Indian. There's people in Africa who looks white. There's people in Africa who looks Asian. Because, nigga, we come from Africa. This is just facts. Al-Kebulon is the original name, or Kush. That's where we come from. This is facts. Because the language we spoke, the language the Americans, the Aborigine and Americans spoke was close to Hebrew and fucking Arabic, which is from Morocco, which America was known as Al Morocco, which is the second Morocco.
Yeah, it was known as Al Morocco to some people. It was known as Turtle Island to others.
Right.
It just because the Moors came over and they chose to call it that. That doesn't mean that's an original name.
But that's the point that I'm making, is that there was two groups of people who was in America. Actually, it was many different groups of people.
Many groups, but I'm trying to say there are people that predate all of those people, including the Asian people that came over the ice shelf when that shit melted. So, America is just as diverse between North and South America. They got all of those different genotypes that you're talking about that exist in Africa. They all exist also in America. You got the Asian blood type. You got the Indian looking blood type. You got the black.
But the Asian niggas came after the Asian. Yes, they did.
There's no proof. That's what I'm trying to say. All of the proof that they have, quote unquote, is fucking contrived and bullshit.
No, I'm saying the proof is not contrived and bullshit.
Yes, it is, because they're not. Okay, so why is it nobody's taking on the fact that the monuments all predate any of the monuments that exist in Africa then?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
The Mayans and all of those
when you go to the Mayan temples, who does the Mayans look like? Nigga, us, nigga. That's
what I'm trying to say.
Okay, but that's what I'm
trying to say. I'm trying to say that it's the birthplace. It's a birthplace of people. And the fact that the ocean doesn't travel the other way, you know what I'm saying? You could kind of have a point, but the fact that the ocean doesn't even allow for travel in a mass state like that, for people, you will get destroyed trying to travel from Africa to America.
But from Africa
to America.
This is cap because there's proof that the Egyptians, right, in Egypt, show themselves voyaging from Egypt to the Americas. Like, for instance, it was cocaine found in the ancient Egyptians' mouths. Cocaine is only grown in the Americas. So that already show you that there was contact happening from America to
right.
Africa.
That's what I'm trying to exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. The immigration operated in that direction, not the other.
Nah, but the only reason why I disagree with that is because they have fossils found in Africa that's way older than found in America. Like Lucy, that shit is supposed to be 100,000 years.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
We using science. You said let's use science. This scientific.
Yeah, we are using science. There's a scientific facts that they agree upon, but we don't have all of the information. We do not have all of the South American information. All of those mines that to me. All of those stone monuments are gonna last way longer than any of those biological artifacts. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that we know that people fucking built things, like it takes a while to build something. You know what I'm saying? Right. People built things, and all of those stoneworks and all of those monuments and all of those cave drawings and whatever you want to talk about. All of that shit is predating, and all of those things are more and all of the structures that they talk about in Africa and anything that they may have talked about in any scriptures or any information, all of that stuff still matches in America. So there's nothing proving that any of that stuff was originally in Africa versus being in America. America is just as fertile as America. And not only that, the placement allows for more travel, more safer. Like you're more likely to land safely in Africa from America than you are from Africa to America because of the way that the tides move. You have to know how the tides. You have to actually move because you maneuver. Yeah, they actually figured out how to maneuver thanks to the Moors.
Forgetting that these was Hebrew people. These was Egyptian people. These was people who were master expert mathematicians, expert scientists, expert philosophers. These niggas was geniuses. Yeah. These niggas was expert navigators. We can't forget that these niggas.
I'm not forgetting nothing. These all of them had advancement and very, very intelligent and very, very
niggas. What I'm gonna say is how you know niggas ain't have submarines back then. Because King Solomon had a navy. We don't know if niggas had submarines back then because they just tell us what they want. Nah, but hear me out.
They roll out the technology. I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I didn't think you was rolling your eyes. I'm just saying. Like, really hear me out. Like, King Solomon had a navy, so we gotta really look at that. The navy, them niggas ride out, and their preferred vehicle is a submarine. We don't know if niggas had submarines. Remember, these niggas lie. These niggas say that came years later. Just like, for instance, they said,
they lie about everything. They lie about everything, but I just go by logical. What makes logical sense? I'm not gonna, if I know that the time it's very, very difficult. It's actually a death sentence for you to try to travel just in any old way. You can't go straight across the Atlantic. You have to go a certain type of maneuver, which you could probably learn how to do to reverse engineer if you came over from America to the European side. If you came that way, you because of the way that the tides go, the winds and the sail would take you there. And if you knew how to navigate, you knew where you were, you might be able to reverse engineer that and know how to go the other way back. Right?
Now, gotta remember, these niggas read the stars though. So
they read the stars. You can read the stars all you want, yeah. But if you don't know how the tides move, it's a wrap for you, especially if you're trying to go from Africa to America.
But I'm saying,
you have to know where you're going.
We don't know if they knew how the tides moved or not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. These niggas
have to know. That's what you do know. Otherwise, they would never have made it.
No, I'm saying we don't know if they didn't know how those tides move. Meaning,
that's what I'm saying. How did they learn? How did you learn? If you went from Africa to America, you're dead trying to do it just off.
Nah, because I'm saying trial and error. Like, for instance, how did niggas know that fire gonna burn them? Like, niggas, let's be for real.
Yeah, but we're talking about one of the largest oceans. Like, we're talking about the largest ocean here. You're not just gonna just jump in it and do trial and error. The first nigga that don't come back there's going to be years between people going and trying to do that. It's not going to just be back to back like that. But what I'm saying is that if you do a successful voyage using the wind and just using what's easy and what works, you get what I'm saying? Where you're able to get out into the ocean and maneuver and that's where trial and error will work, because you're actually able to move. If you're trying to go against the tide now, how are you going to do just trying to skip back? It's like trying to skip rope backwards before you learn how to do it forward.
But you got to remember, that's what man was doing. I'm just using a general word, but that's what I use it. That's what humans was doing. And if we looking at, okay, this is what we was doing, tons of trial and error. Like for instance, before we had the ability to catapult shit, leverage, niggas had to make wild errors, different errors. Like the first time a tree fell and shit, and the nigga couldn't get over the tree, he had to find out, how the fuck am I gonna catapult this damn tree so I can get over? Niggas had
to but that started with what we knew and what was easy. So you start with putting the rock in your hand and using your arm as a fucking catapult, right? Then you reproduce that using a stick and a cup and a fucking rock, right? And then you reproduce that again, having more leverage by putting something under it. You're not gonna be like, oh, I know how to make a catapult without even without ever putting it in your hand and throwing it. You're gonna try to reproduce the effect that you had originally. You're not gonna be able to pull from your mind what a catapult looks like unless you see it in a what's it called? You know when you make a
blueprint?
Yeah, blueprint, or like like when you're making a product and you make a little version of it, but it's obviously not the
prototype, like a prototype.
Yeah. How you gonna make your prototype if how you gonna make your products if you don't know your prototype? So your prototype is gonna be whatever's easy, whatever just came to you by accident, or it came to you just by just doing it. You're not gonna be able to sell against stream. Like say you're one of those fucking kayakers, you might be able to figure out how to climb your way up the fucking tide using these little rip tides and shit that you will notice on your way coming down the easy way, the way that it happens naturally. You might be able to figure out how to do it the other way, or reverse engineer yourself, or figure out a new way, based on the original data. So that's what I say. The original data is probably the most straightforward way, which was just following the riptides. You see, remember in Finding Nemo, where those turtles, they had to get inside of the jet stream in order to be able to travel fast and get where they're going? Same concept. So it's like, if you're now on the other side of that jet stream, you want to come back now, you have to know, okay, the jet stream works like that. It comes in this direction and it's easy, but I need to be able to get on the other side in order to be, that is where it makes sense for me. It does not make sense that people are going to be jumping in the deep end in the hard way. It's more likely like niggas going to be washing up on your shores and you be like, hey, where did you come from? How did you get here? And then they'd be like, oh, we came this way and we, a couple niggas died before we went that way and that was a bad way. It can't go that way otherwise because it goes in this direction. And you learn from that. And then you'll be able to say, hey, maybe we can try to get you back home, or maybe I can come with you, and then we figure it out like that.
Right.
That's the way it makes sense for me. It just doesn't make sense to me the other way, man. And
nah, but we don't know how far Africa is. It could be a straight shot.
We don't know.
That's the point.
No, yeah, we don't know, but we do know how the tides go by based on the people that sail. Because there's people that still sail, people that still swim it. Right. There was a woman that swam it.
Oh yeah, she swam.
The fact that we know a woman that swam it, that's how we know that shit is not that far.
All right. So the only way to prove this though is we got to do the experiment. But again, them niggas is gonna be like, "What the fuck is y'all niggas doing? That we own this water? Go the other way."
No, nobody owns the ocean. Nobody owns the ocean. It's
no, they don't. But what I'm saying, of course, they don't own the ocean. But you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, first of all, they got other niggas. You don't think they got niggas watching to see if niggas just trying to uncover truths?
No, they can.
That's what I'm saying.
They can't even protect the freaking border.
Yeah. Nah, they got niggas watching, bro. But they could protect the borders. They just let shit happen on purpose. Because remember, they can protect, they got 24-hour service, but nigga, we're gonna let this nigga come in and cause havoc so we can create a fucking conflict. So niggas can get paid. It's always about the fucking money. You know that? You know it's always about the money. Illegal.
My phone is getting ready to cut off, guys. So just letting you know.
Copy.
Okay. Well, we do have a long segment. This is good.
Yeah.
We up all night.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna be sleeping all day, and I got shit to do tomorrow. Well, today.
I think it's the sun. Did the sun come up?
It did.
Yep.
Oh shit! I saw the light on her face.
Came up hours ago, like 2 hours ago. Damn. I don't even know. We don't even get that much nighttime because it didn't even get dark until like freaking 9:30.
It's 12:57. People just get into the club.
We did appreciate you, or people just get.
When my chick gets to wagging, there's no stopping it, especially if it's a stimulating conversation.
So they just get into the club
over here.
Oh, what you mean? Like 7 in the morning?
It's only 12.
I know what you mean.
Just now going.
Nah, some niggas be like going to the club at 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the club at 6 in the morning? That must be a strip club.
Dungeon night.
Even after hours, we didn't go to after hours until 4 o'clock in the morning. If
I'm going somewhere at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's to the fucking park to work out, to do my business.
I've been to after hours exactly one time.
No, I have too. Not again because I was younger. You know, I'm not totally an old man, but right now I'm a 65 old ass man in my head. I'm uncool. I like to be 65. I like where I'm at. It's cool. I enjoy it. I just want my milk. I just want my milk and my wife. I don't want to be balling.
My milk and my wife. My wife and my milk.
My wealth and my wife.
Nah, but Ange, you make a good point, man. Because, I mean, yeah, man. But I just still feel like
they're just manipulating us to get us to get off of our land and to give up what we got. That's what they're doing. As simple as that. And the Africans know. You could see I can even send you some videos of one that's like, man, y'all not from here. Y'all not from here. Sorry, like you're not.
That's why when the Africans come to America, when they have that little meeting before they let them all the way in, they tell them no, fuck with the African Americans.
Yeah, but the thing is that they come in, they take on that African American because they can actually blend in and take advantage of like the camaraderie of it all, right? But anytime you go to their country, you're going to be an African American, like a non-nothing, like you're just and not only that, you don't even know who you really are.
But it's not even so, because that's a generalization. A lot of us.
No, it's true. That's what they're experiencing. That's why they're coming back home. Some of them are coming back home, and some of them are just telling how it is. It's not like
that's a disconnect thing though, because think about it. If you was leaving your land, right, and niggas rounded y'all niggas up in slavery and a whole bunch of internal trauma and beef with one another and fighting and arguing, of course it's gonna be like that.
Yeah, but it's not true. They know the actual history of what happened. They know that it was just basically like a land grab. They were trying to fight over land, and they were assisting. Actually even using the white people as assistants in order to be able to facilitate the invasion and coming over to the Americas in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? So there's all of these sins that were committed that they don't even want to admit to, right? And then they have a lot of people that have these. Oh shit! My phone is dead.
Oh.
Did it die?
Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna pause it here.
2 hours.
And trim. Yeah, that was enough for 3 episodes.
Niggas